What's up guys, I'm Josh Mosiman and welcome to another Motocross Action video. We are testing the last Austrian two-stroke with a carburetor. Well, maybe it's not the last one, but it's kind of hard to say because the Husqvarna and the KTM, they're both fuel injected for 2023, and this bike will be fuel injected next year as well. So we know the GASGAS MC250 Two-Stroke like the back of our hand. We've been riding with the same platform on the KTM 250 SX for the last few years. Now we're gonna break apart the pros and cons of this bike in this video and talk about what we love and what we hate about the GASGAS MC250. So for 2023, the GASGAS MC250 is in its second model year. GASGAS was first started platform sharing with KTM back in 2021, and they had a 125 two-stroke back then, but they didn't have a 250 two-stroke. 2022, that was the first time the GASGAS offered this exact same GASGAS MC250 two-stroke. Now for 2023, it's in its second model year. It's got the steel chromoly frame and also has the WP Exact air forks, the WP shock, the Mikuni TMX carburetor, and the same KTM platform that KTM had on their 250 SX two-stroke for the last few years. The big change though is now this is the only carbureted Austrian two-stroke for 2023, as KTM and Husqvarna are the fuel injected, electronic power valve equipped, electronic starting two-strokes now. KTM and Husky, all new chassis, all new engine, all new from the ground up. This GASGAS is the same tried and true 250 two-stroke that KTM used to have and Husqvarna used to have. The sad news is that GASGAS is going the same way for 2024. So this is the last MC250 two-stroke with the carburetor that we will see for the motocross specific bikes. The fuel injection, it's awesome on the KTM, it's awesome on the Husqvarna, it's a lot of fun, but it's got a lot of teething phases that we're going through right now as we learn the mapping of it. There aren't very many options for remapping your KTM or Husqvarna 250 two-stroke for 2023. WMR, a dealership over in Florida, they own the Hilo Concepts, as you guys know, make a lot of trick parts for KTM and Austrian bikes especially. The WMR guys, they found a way to crack the code on the ECU for the 2023 KTM and Husqvarna two-strokes, so they can remap your bike, but nobody else in the country as of right now can remap your bike. KTM, they don't even want us to remap our two-strokes, bikes that KTM has loaned us out for the year, so we're working around that, trying to get our hands on some WMR remapped ECUs. We don't have any mapping problems on this GASGAS MC250 two-stroke. It's the same old carburetor that we know and love. The stock settings work great for us here in California, great for us here today at Glen Helen Raceway with Brian Medeiros behind the handlebars. This bike is tried and true, and this is actually the bike that I'm going to be racing in a couple weeks here at the Fast House World Two-Stroke Championships here at Glen Helen Raceway on April 8th, Easter weekend. I personally love this bike, but there are a few things that I'm going to be changing before I race it. KTM and GASGAS, the difference on these bikes is minimal, but they are different. The GASGAS comes with much softer suspension settings tailored towards novice and vet riders. Yes, you can bump up the air pressure in the forks to get the spring rate to ride a little bit taller. No matter how much you bump up the air pressure, the valving in the forks is still softer and it's going to blow through the stroke if you're going fast and you get on the front brake hard. So I'm going to be stiffening up the suspension. Also, the GASGAS comes with forged aluminum triple clamps. If you've read any of our articles in Motocross Action Magazine about the GASGAS, the forged aluminum triple clamps, they're not bad. Forged aluminum is the way that Kawasaki, Honda, Yamaha, they all make their triple clamps out of forged aluminum. But KTM and Husqvarna, they run CNC machined triple clamps, which on the track act a little more precise and just a little bit easier to find your rut in the corners. All of the aftermarket upgraded triple clamps that you can buy from Luxon, Ride Engineering, X-Trig, all those companies CNC machine their triple clamps, and that's how KTM and Husqvarna come stock, CNC machined. Just a different process of making the triple clamps, and what it does for KTM and Husky, turn a little bit sharper, a little more precise. Where on this GASGAS, it gives it kind of a vague feeling coming into corners, something that I don't love, but one benefit about these forged aluminum triple clamps is that they are a little bit softer and more flexible, which gives you a little bit of comfort going down the harsh, rough straightaways. If you're an off-road guy, or if you're a guy that is riding a lot of rough tracks, these triple clamps might be the right ones to go for you. Also, if you don't mind the little bit less precision coming coming into corners. Because you want that added comfort, these triple clamps are good for you as well. So otherwise, swing arm, subframe, chassis, it's all the same as what KTM had been using for years before, and it's tried and true and something that we know and love. A couple other things that are different about this bike: it comes stock with Maxxis MX ST tires, but as you guys probably noticed in this video, the front tire is Maxxis, the rear tire is Dunlop. We've already got quite a few hours of riding and racing on this model, and we actually wore through the Maxxis rear tire, so threw on a, not even a new Dunlop, just a little bit fresher of a Dunlop for today's video. It does come with the silver wheels and the silver neck and handlebars. Those are actually pretty cool looking and make the GASGAS kind of set it apart from some of the other models on the track. The cherry red frame is something I talk about in every GASGAS video because I think it looks ultra trick and something that I give a big double thumbs up to with GASGAS. Talking about the power character on the MC250, this GASGAS engine is strong. It gets up and goes, it hits hard on the bottom end, and it's definitely more of a bottom to mid focused engine. It doesn't rev as far as the YZ250 Two Stroke does, which this bike is often compared to. And this bike likes to be ridden in the meat of the power, and the meat of the power is in the low to mid RPM range. Yes, you can rev it out, but it does prefer to be ridden low to mid. And it comes on a lot stronger than the KTM and the Husqvarna 250 Two Strokes for 2023. I've spent a lot of time on those fuel injected bikes. I've spent a lot of time on the 300 SX KTM as well. The fuel injected KTMs, one thing I really like about them is that they're a lot easier to ride off the crack of the throttle. Like a fuel injected 4-stroke, the power is there almost instantly. There's no lag. It's a lot less bogging, a lot less of a delay when you get on the throttle with a fuel injected 2-stroke. Where this GASGAS, it definitely takes a little more feathering of the clutch, definitely takes a little more skill to ride with this 2-stroke power band. Old school 2-stroke guys, you guys are probably going to be sad to hear that, as the fuel injected bikes kind of take a little bit of the 2-stroke skill out of riding motocross. You don't have to be as skilled and you don't have to carry as much momentum, and you don't have to feather the clutch as much with those fuel injected bikes, making it easier to ride. In the end, easier to go fast, yes, but it's almost going to be a lost art once the GASGAS goes fuel injected and we won't have the carburetors on it for 2024. So overall, what's better for a novice? What's better for overall rider friendly power? The fuel injected bikes are easier to come out of corners on, while this GASGAS takes a little more skill, but it does hit harder once you get that power. So for me, racing the 2-stroke national in a couple weeks, I want something that I know and love. I want something I'm comfortable with. This GASGAS with the Mikuni TMX carburetor, we can get it dialed in for our settings here at Glen Helen, and we won't have to worry about any detonation. 250 2-stroke from Husky, 250 2-stroke from KTM for 23. With the fuel injection, it's not so easy to remap it. We have had issues with detonation, especially on the 125 models, and that's something that I don't want to run into on the track here in a race. Another big difference, the fuel injected bikes have a rev limiter on them, and that is very, very different to hear a rev limiter on a 2-stroke. Some people think it sounds cool, some people think it sounds horrible. Nowhere near hitting the rev limiter on this GASGAS, but you will hit it on the fuel injected bikes. Comparing this chassis to the new generation 23 KTM and Huskies, this has the older chromoly steel frame, which is known for being a lot more flexible. I'm really comfortable on it. We spent a lot of years racing this bike and other bikes like this. Great for finding traction on the dry slick stuff, and overall just a very predictable chassis, where the new 2023 frame's a little bit stiffer, definitely more time to break in. The new chassis is a little more stable, less pitching front to rear, while this bike definitely squats harder under acceleration. Personally, I really like this GASGAS, and it's something that I'm very comfortable on. If you own an MC250 and you want to get a little more bottom end snap, a little more throttle response coming out of corners into the power quickly, you should buy a UFO vented airbox cover. GASGAS comes with an airbox cover that's completely closed off. You're kind of suffocating the engine for air. So if you can either drill your own holes in the airbox cover, or you can order one from UFO, a red one over there, and that'll give you a little more air coming into the airbox. Also, the rear brake return spring on this bike is known for braking super easily. This morning I had to switch it out. We had the stock GASGAS one on there that snapped in half. We added on a Honda rear brake spring, and that solved the issues for us today. The Honda is much more durable spring. If you break the rear brake return spring on your bike, don't spend money buying another KTM one. You're just going to break it again. Be sure to pick up one from your local Honda dealership. If you want to know more about this bike, be sure to stay tuned to Motocross Action Magazine. Subscribe to the magazine for only $24.99 a year, and we will send you a free $25 e-gift card to Rocky Mountain ATV MC online. They have a huge store with parts, gear, everything you need to go riding. So you spend $25 with us, you get $25 with Rocky Mountain. It's kind of like a win-win. Appreciate you guys for doing that. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to Motocross Action Mag on YouTube, and also check us out on Instagram at Motocross Action Mag. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.